What's up, everybody? I'm meteorologist Andrea Myers, bringing you guys your daily hail forecast, sponsored as always by C3 Group, Merlin Law Group, and American Contractor. You guys can go ahead and check out the awesome work that they do in the description to this video. So for today, we're starting out with a 3-star map review. We had a Minnesota storm yesterday that ended up producing some pretty solid hail, so we're going to talk about that. And then afterwards, we've got a widespread risk today. If you're in Texas, any of the plain states, all the way up to the upper Midwest in Minnesota and Wisconsin, you are in the risks. So definitely stay tuned to see what the weather's going to be like for today, as well as tomorrow, as we have another plains risk rolling through as we wait on that pattern shift to happen later on into maybe the weekend. So stay tuned to talk about our plains risks for today and tomorrow. But first, we're getting into our upcoming events. So first, we're going to be at the Contractor Blueprint Seminar. This one's on May 13th, so like 2 days from now, in OKC on the River Oaks Golf Course. So come on out to say hello to us and our team and the good people at the River Oaks Golf Course putting on the Contractor Blueprint Seminar. It's going to be a good time, so make sure to get on out there. And then afterwards, we are going to move out west to Colorado. This one's in Lakewood. The Calm Before the Storm Golf Tournament is going to be at the Fox Hollow Golf Course. This is put on by C3 Group, and the proceeds go to charities. So it's going to be a good time playing golf, talking weather, the beautiful weather of Colorado. So make sure to get on out to the Calm Before the Storm Golf Tournament. Then into yesterday. Okay, so this was our 3-star storm through Minnesota. Couple little swaths here, but it did the trick. We started out in Waterville, moving up to Montgomery with some quarters to half dollars, got a little swath of some larger hail there. But then our 2-inch swath hit New Prague, and again, that impacted enough homes to warrant a 3-star map, did some damage through there. So again, the location on that is going to be Montgomery and New Prague. Max size would be our swath here over New Prague at 2 inches for our hail, and then impacted almost 4,000 homes. So again, go ahead and check that out for yesterday's 3-star map. Then into today, we're looking clear across the east, clear across the west, but then the whole middle of the U.S. is going to be in for a noisy day for thunderstorms. So starting out in the upper part of our risk area, all the way from Wyoming off into Wisconsin, we've already got storms that have been bubbling up through Minnesota right now, and those have been producing severe hail this morning. That's not going to change as we get into the next few hours. We're really watching this area between South Dakota, Nebraska, and Iowa here, and that's where we'll see storm initiation later on that could blow up and move up to the northeast, wreaking some havoc with hail, wind, and possible tornadoes. Then down to the south, we've got more of a risk area for you guys through Texas, as well as a marginal risk area through Oklahoma and Kansas for today. Could see some storms popping up along that cold front as that continues to sweep off through the U.S. And with that, you know, in all this clearing, all this heat and humidity that's so typical of the southern plains this time of year, we could see some storms riding off that instability and, you know, again, causing some severe thunderstorms for Texas and possibly Oklahoma and Kansas. So we'll take a look at our risk areas in a second. So here's what we have for dew points, which is just a humidity indicator, all right? Wherever you see those deep greens, it's generally going to be pretty humid. So the closer those are to our temperatures, too, is a really good indicator of just how much humidity and how much water is in the air. So 66-degree dew points in Wichita, Kansas right now, 67 in Dallas. And we've got temperatures to match that through the area, so it's just super muggy through the southern plains as well as up through Minnesota and Wisconsin. And as that cold front pushes through the area into that area of heat and humidity, and we get all that shift in our temperature and our atmospheric conditions, that's when we'll start to see some storms developing along that line. So that plays into our convective available potential energy, okay? So this is just, again, how much likelihood there is for updrafts and storms and explosive storm development, right? And check out these values all through the Mississippi Valley here. We're sitting in the high values around 4 p.m. By the time storms are starting to move up through the risk area here, we're again sitting in those high values. So Definitely some chances for hail dependent on storm mode. Same with you guys through Texas and Oklahoma, sitting in those moderate to high values through the Amarillo area, through the Midland, Odessa, and Del Rio area. We got chances for hail across the board here by the end of your workday, and that's going to continue through the day. As that line shifts eastward and as the sun sets, we're going to see those values taper off a little bit. So here we are by 9 p.m. and that's when things are going to start shifting up towards the Minneapolis area, but we still got a low bit instability, so still possible that Minneapolis could get some severe hail with that line as it passes through. And then again, continuing to taper off into the overnight hours, but then we're back tomorrow with another risk. So throwing that all together here on our future radar, this is what the models are spitting out for what we could get into weather for the next few hours. Here we are by 2 p.m., so only a couple hours away here, already seeing one little loner isolated storm starting to develop through the upper northeastern part of Nebraska. But then quickly, there we are by 3:30, only an hour and a half later, we already got a complex of those storms moving through, specifically through the Sioux Falls area. I mean, check out, any of those storms could be doing hail. We also have a potential for some updrafts to produce some rotation. So hail and damaging winds are all a threat with these storms by 3:30 p.m. as they continue to develop, pushing up to the northeast. And then, here we go through the Wyoming area. You got, these do have a chance for hail. They don't look super intimidating on our future radar, but just with the pure elevation of how high up you are, not a lot of chance for any hail that does form to melt before it hits the ground. So a chance for severe hail with these. And then, I mean, this is a whole different story here. This is starting to already cluster into a line as it passes through the 90 corridor here and makes its way towards Minneapolis by 8:30 p.m. And then there it is by 10. Got a bowing segment heading through the Minneapolis metro area by around 10 p.m. This could be, again, packing a punch with some strong winds, possible tornadoes. And then, once we see these lines form, our hail chances taper off, but they're still non-zero as that tracks off to the east through Wisconsin now by midnight, making its way into Duluth, Minnesota, and then off into the Great Lakes area into the overnight hours. But then, through North and South Dakota, we get round two as these start up, and these could produce severe hail as well into the early parts of tomorrow morning, playing into our risk area for tomorrow. Then for Texas and Oklahoma, starting to see things bubble up by around 5 p.m. along that line through the New Mexico area, as well as just to the west of Midland, Odessa. Not looking too crazy yet, but then by 8 o'clock, seeing that continue to develop along that line, just between Amarillo and Lubbock, got a nasty looking cell, and then again, just south of Midland, Odessa, seeing some more that could be potential hailers, as well as producing some gusty winds into this afternoon and evening before they kind of fizzle out into the early overnight hours. So, rounding that all out here in our hail forecast.
Hang on, guys, we're having some technical difficulties. We're going to reset the audio real quick.
Black magic.
Yeah.
Can you hear me now? Hello, hello, testing. All right, sweet, we're back. Something just screwed up on our audio system. So anyway, we got quarters to $half possible anywhere where we saw that future radar rolling through with those severe thunderstorms. So if you guys are in the Sioux Falls area, that's where we're having the bulk of our risk. So that's the highest chance of seeing hail into the next 24 hours here as those storms track through. So Sioux Falls, high chance for you. Omaha, Colby, and Minneapolis, you're kind of on the edges, the outskirts of where we're going to see that complex moving through. So moderate chance for you guys to see hail associated with that. If you do see hail, could be up to ping pong to golf ball size. Then by the time we get to La Crosse and Green Bay, should be more of a wind threat, so low end chance on the hail for you guys, as well as Casper. Anywhere through Casper, Rapid City is going to be pretty isolated as those storms track through, so low end chance for you all as well. And then down into the southern plains there, Amarillo, moderate chance for you guys with those storms tracking through, but as they continue to shift eastward in that northeast to southwest line, as they continue to shift eastward, by the time they hit Lubbock, I think it's going to be a little bit more towards the wind threat side of things again, so low end chance for you guys. But again, anywhere through there could get up to golf ball sized stones with those clusters of storms that are going to be forming into later this evening. Then for wind, it's going to be pretty similar. I always do this. Here's our city forecast first. Before we get into wind, it is a similar risk, but we'll talk about it in a second. So for Minneapolis, you guys are no stranger to storms this week. You got another round possible today, as we talked about. Storm timeline is going to be 8 p.m. to 2 a.m. So it's going to be a late night to overnight storm risk, unfortunately. The chance of seeing hail at all in the severe range is moderate. You could get up to those ping pong to golf ball size stones, like I said, but the chance of seeing anything greater than 1 inch is low, as you do get that band of storms developing. But again, severe hail as well as gusty winds are a risk as they pass over Minneapolis, so you just want to be tuned to your weather into this evening and overnight as that moves through. Then for the rest of our risk cities here through Sioux Falls, again, you guys are the best chance to see severe weather into this evening and afternoon. So high-end chance for you guys. Minneapolis starting to taper off those chances, and then once we get down to Amarillo, Omaha, moderate risk for you guys, since again, you're on the outskirts of where we're seeing that severe weather develop in bulk. Then down to Lubbock, low to moderate for you guys. La Crosse, low-end chance for you guys to see severe hail into today and tonight. But again, just stay tuned if you're on this list at all. Stay tuned to your local weather today, because it could be a nasty one as we get these storms passing through. So here's our wind threat now. Pretty much the same as our hail risk area, however, kind of tapering off the westward longevity of that. And then, the best area to get wind, or the most likely area to see wind, is that hatched area right there. And that's where that complex, that bowing structure of storms is going to drive up to the northeast. So through Sioux Falls, through Minneapolis, high-end chance for you guys to see some gusty winds into this afternoon and evening through tonight, as well as some potential rotating thunderstorms capable of producing tornadoes. Then Fargo, moderate chance for you guys. You're on the north end of that risk. Omaha, low end chance as things pass over you. Low end for anywhere through Rapid City, Casper, or Colby, Kansas on the scattered and isolated parts of that risk. Then down to Amarillo and Lubbock, y'all both have a moderate chance of seeing some gusty winds with those scattered storms developing over you guys. So all risks possible for pretty much anywhere through the plains, but again, the bulk of the bad weather is going to be through that Sioux Falls area, so just stay tuned. Then into tomorrow, it's round 3, 4, whatever it is for you guys in Minnesota here by now. Starting to see, it's going to be a quiet morning for most of us except North Dakota. You guys are going to have some ongoing showers and rumbles of thunder. But then by 5 p.m., there we go yet again with isolated storms tracking through the Sioux Falls area and the northern part of Nebraska, as well as Minnesota here. Any of these could be severe hailers as they start up, but then it almost immediately forms into a band. Here we are about 2 hours later by 7 p.m., starting to see that band of storms capable of producing some marginally severe hail, but now we're looking at more of a wind threat as that continues to drive off to the east. And there you go, yet another bowing segment heading towards Minneapolis by 9 p.m. into tomorrow, as well as moving into the Omaha area with some loud thunderstorms, continuing to track east, and then it should fizzle out into the early overnight hours. And then hopefully, finally, a clear Friday for you guys to enjoy your weekend as that system finally passes through. Then down into Texas, you guys are back in the risk yet again as well. So West Texas, going to be a quiet start to the day too, but then, by 8:30, starting to see some isolated cells form in there. Never underestimate South Texas in terms of its capabilities of producing severe hail. So, we're watching both of these supercellular structures as they form, and then things are going to continue to develop through the evening and early parts of the overnight hours as they head towards San Angelo, but then it should kind of taper off and fizzle out there into the late overnight hours. So, yet another chance for some severe hail in South Texas. We got some chances through Oklahoma and the Texas Panhandle, but it's more of a capping risk for you guys. So that could, that is very subject to change through the Texas and Oklahoma Panhandles for tomorrow. So this is it for hail. Keeping it at ping pong to golf balls right now through the bulk of the largest hail risk area. Due to the fact that it bands up so quickly, that storm mode changes in only a matter of a couple hours. And so, if we can maintain that supercell structure longer, then we could get some larger hail sizes. But right now, it's looking like it's going to transition to a wind threat pretty early. So quarters to $50 possible anywhere from Minnesota all the way down into Texas yet again. And then if you guys are in the Grand Forks, Omaha, or Minneapolis area, low-end chances for you guys to see hail, but you could still get some quarters to $50. Sioux Falls, moderate chance for you as things develop through that area. And then down into Texas, Kansas, Oklahoma. Low-end chance for any of you guys from the scattered nature of those storms as well as those capping issues that we talked about. Then into wind for tomorrow. It's going to look kind of similar to our hail forecast, except stretching it out a little bit to the east as that band drives through, and then adding this hatched risk area where we're seeing yet another Boeing segment tracking through. So once again, if you guys are in Grand Forks, Duluth, Minneapolis, moderate chance for you guys to see some damaging winds into tomorrow night with this complex. Best chances are going to be through Sioux Falls and Omaha for some gusty winds. Kansas City, low-end chance for you guys. Low-end chance anywhere through the Central Plains as well as in Lubbock and Midland, Odessa area to see some nasty winds into tomorrow. So lots to talk about. It's May, so not unexpected that we're getting lots of severe weather threats. But they're pretty widespread, so make sure you guys follow us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter so you always stay tuned to your local updates that we provide on your severe hail and wind. Hit that See First button on Facebook so you don't miss our live videos, and hit subscribe and that notification bell on YouTube for the same reason. And then you guys can also follow us on TikTok to see the fun videos that we post as well as our live forecast discussions. Then if you want to get in contact with us, you can call us at 855-334-4245. You can also email us if you'd rather at info@hailtrace.com, or check out our website, hailtrace.com, for more details on who we are and what we do. But for now, I'm meteorologist Andrea Myers. Thanks for watching.